Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So I just got back from my trip over in South Florida. It was kind of fun. It was a little long. I missed YouTubing, I missed streaming and whatnot. And you know, when I came back, I checked my inbox and I actually had a Tree of Savior closed beta access. And I think the beta is like 5 days, so I have a couple more days to play. This was after like an 8-hour clip or so on the stream. I'm going to show you guys some footage, then we're going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about my impressions, you know, how I feel about the game. And of course, this is only after about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours of footage, and not too much research, but it's a pretty fucking fun game, man. It's action-packed, and it's Grinder's Paradise. So let's go ahead and show you guys the kind of like one of the mini-bosses here. This is actually the in-game soundtrack from the login screen that I'm playing right now. I didn't want to have myself talking over, so right now this is kind of like one of the many mini-bosses I guess you'll face during your quest line. It's really cool because you've got like zone bosses and these mini-bosses, and it really just gives you a fun element of just, you know, randomly grinding off mindless mobs, even though grinding in this game is awesome with the way it works. You'll notice that I jump a lot in the game. By jumping, you can actually animation cancel regular attacks, whether it be, say, a cast time skill. You'll use your 2-second cast time and then jump right after to, you know, take away from the element of delay. So you can see here I got put into like a solo instance to kill the boss. Right after that, you'll see a crazy shit ton of mob spawn because I get kicked out of my solo instance and back into like a normal environment. It's a little complicated, but it's not really, so you'll see this here in about 1 second. And then I'm actually going to jump into the game and show you guys a couple things, and then we're going to jump into how the job class system works in this game. At least I think the mobs spawn here. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, rip, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't actually spawn yet. Let's just skip forward some to see some mobs. I lied. Alright, anyway, we're just gonna jump into the game. Screw it. Alright, boys, so I've got two characters. I've got a swordsman and a pyromancer. So I'm just gonna jump into the game really fast here on my swordsman that I've got. And as I'm jumping into this game, I want to show you guys a little bit about how the classes work. And to do that, I need to go onto an external website, which will of course be linked in the chat for you guys. I just want to go over this first so you guys can kind of understand the way it works. So in Ragnarok, since this is what a lot of people compare it to, is Ragnarok 1, they see this as the game for like Ragnarok 2, you have, instead of a novice class, you'd have, say, think of it like 4 novice classes. You'd have a swordsman, wizard, archer, and cleric. Alright? Now, you can max out 3 of your 5 skills, or 4, I guess, if you're an archer. You can see you get 15 skill points, so you can choose however you'd like to distribute your points. So this would be your class 1. Again, swordsman, wizard, archer, cleric. Now, when your job class, which is separate from your actual experience, you can see here on my actual experience bar, you have a bottom, which is your character level, and then you've got the right, which is your job level. So, after you hit 15, so say I put 5 in a thrust, 5 in a bash, and 5 in a gung-ho, a new class will emerge. Actually, you don't have to allocate if you don't want to, but a new class will emerge, and you can either now go into Swordsman Tier 2, Highlander, or Pelsta fuck, whatever it's called. And these all come with their own set of skills. So if you decide to go Pelsta, you can see they have their own set of abilities as well, and you have 15 points to allocate. Highlander would have its own set. And Swordsman rank 2 would allow the skills to go up to 10 instead of 5, and you would actually gain new skills as well. You can do this with the class up to 3 times. Now by doing this, you are skipping out on the other class, and you cannot go back to it. So that's kind of how the customization works. You can choose, I think someone said there's like 792 combinations for like everything combined. It's pretty crazy. So again, you could do something like, you could do, let's go Swordsman, Highlander, Rodelello, whatever, Squire into Doppelsnurlala. And that would be your character. Whereas vice versa, you could do Swordsman, Cataphract, whatever, Cata again, and then Cata. You know, you could have this really cool way of customization within your characters. And then to further customize yourself, let's actually get into the game here. So just to show you guys a little bit more of what it looks like, if I go down to my skills, you can see them right here. So I've got whatever they're called, tier 2. I don't have the actual, I have swordsman tier 2. So I've got like gung-ho level 10, and I can get these other buffs level 10. I can actually get another class till my job gets a little bit higher. But anyway, it just offers a really cool, I hope I didn't confuse you guys too much, way of customization. Of course, just like with the swordsman tree, do the same thing with the archer, same thing with the cleric, and vice versa. So, just to show you guys a bit of the combat in like a proper actual setting here, I can just show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and buff myself up, do a little bit of sprinting. You can see I've got an HP gauge, an SP gauge, a stamina gauge, which is used for running. I don't know if every class can run though. As of right now, I only know of the swordsman. And we're going to go ahead and do some grinding here. Now, these mobs are a bit high level for me, so I don't kill them too fast. Now you can see that by utilizing jumping, of course, you don't have to do this on everyone. I can actually evade majority of attacks even as a melee character. Now, granted, these are dying pretty fast at 32, and I am only level 24. And the reason why is there's different damage types in this game. So if you look at, like, for example, Bash. Bash is considered a slashing attack. Pommel is considered a hit. Thrust is considered a stab. So you actually have different categories of attacks. Same thing with your elements. I don't know exactly too much how to bring it up here. I guess here you go. So you've got attack on small type mobs, attack on medium type mobs, attack on large type mobs, attack on cloth, leather, plate. I don't even know what fluid is. I just learned of this right now. And then you've got attack on plant, beast, insect, mutant, demon. And then, additionally, you have fire, ice, lightning, earth, poison, holy, dark. So you've got a bunch of cool stats to play around with as well. And of course, you've got stats that you can distribute. Every time you get a level up, you get one stat to further customize your character. And then, of course, you have your standard gear. You can socket your gear, you can upgrade your gear and whatnot. But there is one other thing I want to show you guys. And of course, there's a bunch more information for you guys to learn later on. I'm just giving you guys just a little rundown. But so far, I am loving the game. Again, it is a very, very grindy game. If you don't want to grind, this is not the game for you. I'm going to emphasize that. If anyone played Ragnarok or like things like Repels back in the day, it is your goal to kill monsters in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot back really fast to town here. Is it F2? Let's go ahead and warp scroll and see if I can warp somewhere here. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this other system. I don't really know how this one works 100%, but it's like another way to... I don't think this is more or less customizing. I think this is more or less like if you grind and get money, this is something else for you to do. So let's see if I can find it here. We are swordsmen, so we need to go right over here. Okay, so there's this other option that you can do here. They're called attributes, and attributes are further used to customize your character as well. And you can, to my knowledge, you can just keep upgrading these. There's no cap. You just, as long as you have the required skill, and as long as you have the required, silver and whatnot, you can keep upgrading these. And these will do things like increase the damage of the skill by 1%. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you just keep increasing it, it adds up. For example, what is this? So this is Gung Ho. This is one I always pick because it's one of my main buffs. So it increases the physical damage I get by +1 and decreases my defense by 1, which is, that's life, right? But it's cool because it's just another thing you can do, and this actually takes time for it to go through. Now, one other cool option about the game, which I know a lot of people ask about games in general, is I almost want to say multi-platform, but that's not what I was looking for. Is it settings? Okay, you've got multiple ways you can play the game. You can play with a joypad, aka a controller. You can play with keyboard, meaning you don't use your mouse. You can play with mouse mode, which you use your mouse and keyboard. And then I don't think auto is an actual mode. I think that just selects something for you. So that's something that was also really cool for me to see in the game itself. Now, some issues with the game. Whoops, I should probably switch my settings before I waste all my buffs, kind of like I did. The combat, despite how it might look, it's actually not clunky at all. The combat is very fluid, very smooth. There are some issues with, I guess, like a little bit of desyncing, kind of. Up and down, like sometimes there's be like a delay, whoops, on the mobs dying. You'll like smack them and then the mob dies. But everything else aside from that seems really smooth. And this is like, I think this is the third beta the third closed beta. This is the first one in English, though, I believe. So there was a lot still to come. But the game it's really fun, man. You know, it kind of feels like an arcade-style game in a way, but it's not. You know, it's not. Like, I guess arcade would be also kind of like Skyforge, but they're absolutely 100% different. There's also some really cool, I guess, the way healing works in the game. It's like, so healer classes like clerics and whatnot, they'll like put shit on the floor and you actually like step on it. But the way it works is it's like think of Minecraft, right? And each time you step, there's like a cube in front of you. The way AoEs work in this game and stuff when you're like aiming is it goes off kind of like a voxel system, and this could totally be the wrong terminology, but it's really cool. So like if you have a skill like Wall of Fire, you would like aim it and you would go up, for example, or something, and make like an L, but you would see it on like the voxels on the floor. And I just thought it was like a really cool system. It's just something new, you know, it's something unique, and it really adds to the elements of the way the game is played. But, you know, that's all. You guys have any questions, feel free to, you know, let me know. I'm going to play this on the stream for probably the next couple days, and then it's going to go down, and I'll probably hop back to Skyforge. You know, we'll see what happens after that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to do. I wanted to just cover some content for you guys. But, yeah, so that's going to be it. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And remember, you can always catch me streaming live at twitch.tv/Pohx daily. And if you enjoyed the video, well, fuck, sure. So have a good one, boys. I will see you guys all tomorrow.